Well everyone, we get to finally talk about the Google Pixel 6 Pro and see how this particular phone holds up in 2024. Now, the thing I would definitely tell you about the Pixel 6 Pro is that this is still a very good phone in a lot of different ways, and I do think if you're going to go through and pick up a device, this is a very, very decent option. It's not the best phone of all time and it's not the perfect phone of all time, but I do think for a lot of people out there, getting a device like this can still be a very good option of getting kind of a cheap flagship phone from a couple years ago that still maintains and holds up very, very well against the competition of today's standards. So if you want to pick it up, links are down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same exact time. But first of all, this is a mid-year review, so we've already talked about this phone earlier on this year. So the exterior is basically about the same thing as it was early this year. You're still getting that 6.7-inch LTPO AMOLED display. It's a 120Hz display. You can see the hole punch at the top. It's a curved panel as well, which most phones nowadays are not curved. They basically are like flat panels. So this thing having a curved side is actually fairly interesting, and it kind of gives it a super unique approach a little bit. Now, I would probably say on top of that, the display is probably one of the best assets, and I really, really do like the display on this thing for sure. Now, on top of that, you're getting a hole punch display, like I said before, 120Hz, USB Type-C port at the bottom. On the back side, you're getting the standard glass back, which still looks very good, with a triple camera setup at the very top as well. So this is another very cool thing. You're basically getting this very solid build quality with a very solid camera and everything on the back side. And I do think this kind of stuff is very, very cool because these phones aren't super crazy expensive, but they're still giving you very good flagship type of experience. These are sub $250 phones now, which is pretty crazy. So that in and of itself definitely gets a thumbs up from me. I'd probably say in terms of the cameras, still good. We've already had on these cameras since last year, but the only thing I would say is that 4K at 30 is my only gripe. Otherwise, still a good camera, and it still is going to be giving you a very, very decent experience on this thing for sure. Now, on top of that, this particular phone is still also giving you a lot of other capability, and I would say in terms of the software, this is probably one of the biggest assets for this. This is probably one of the biggest assets for this type of device. You have to remember that these particular phones are Google's, pride and joy. They are the Google Pixels. So because of that, Google is basically going to be giving you, software updates and first in line software updates, which is very big. And if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, it is really cool that I'm getting a phone like on this one that's going to be giving me that, software updates that I really like and that I really prefer. So I think this in and of itself is another very, very cool thing. And definitely, in my opinion, it's a very nice thing of getting these software updates that are going to be lasting for long periods of time. So this in and of itself is another very important thing to kind of keep in mind here as well. And finally, with the performance, I would say the performance has been holding up very well as well. We haven't really gotten the successor of this thing, but we did get the Google Pixel 8a, which was kind of a cheaper budget version of this particular device. And I do think when it comes down to this particular phone, it holds up very well against a lot of the competition. And with phones like the Pixel 8a, these are very solid, those are very solid phones, but the Pixel 6 Pro is still a very solid phone as well. I mean, the performance of this thing with its Google Tensor G1 chipset and 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM is absolutely insane. And that's some very, very cool stuff to have in a device like this as well. So overall, what I'll definitely tell you is that I like the Google Pixel 6 Pro, and I still think this phone is still completely worth buying in the middle part of 2024. But keep in mind that we are very close to the next generation of software. We are very close to the Pixel 9 Pro coming out. So it might make a little bit more sense to just wait out until those particular devices come out and then go and kind of revisit this particular device. But without a doubt, I love this phone. I think they're completely worth buying for sure. And, I still think it's worth buying. Maybe it's, kind of coming, maybe have another year or two of software updates, but it's still a very good phone. And I like this phone a lot because of that. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.